I guess we're going to do oath of office. Please, Dennis, you're up. Or swear at you, one or the other. Yes, forgive me.
Yep. So you're going to raise your right hand, and you're going to repeat after me. So I state your name,
I, Dennis Hutnick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United
to the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution to the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duty
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
You got it. Welcome. And I'm going to have you sign right here. And you're good to go.
Right here.
Yep. You are bona fide.
Thank you.
Now we can do roll call.
Start here with Member Hutnick. You're here. Member Fiore.
Here.
Member Shadzicki.
Here.
Member Shu.
Here.
Chair Hedges.
Here.
Youth Commissioner Langlease.
Here.
All present. Thank you.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Kathy, will you lead us? Thank you, Kathy. And Mark, you're going to read the appeal notice?
Certainly.
Thank you.
In the event that you disagree with an action taken by the Planning Commission in regards to your application tonight, or with any condition of approval of the application, which is not a specific requirement of the Norco Municipal Code, you're entitled to appeal such determination or conditions to the Norco City Council, provided that such appeal is filed with the Norco City Clerk within 10 calendar days after the requirements for appeals, inclusive of payment of an appeal fee.
Thank you. We'll now have public comments. City Clerk?
Yes, Chair. We have one public comment from Bonnie Slager.
Good evening, everybody. Not this coming Thursday. Thursday, the 16th of August, will be our monthly Norco Horsemen's Association. August, yeah, well, October, one of those months, Pat. See, but you knew what I meant.
I did.
October 16th, a week from Thursday, will be our Norco Horsemen's meeting, and our speaker is going to be Greg Lansing, who now owns the property that you all probably know as the Wiley property. And so he's going to talk about, he's got a couple ideas of what he might do with that 420 acres. And I don't know if it constitutes a problem for you to come hear him, but if it does not, I would hope that all of you would join us at 7 o'clock at the American Legion to hear what Mr. Lansing has to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
We have no further comments.
Okay. We'll now go to 2A, which is the approval of the Planning Commission meetings.
Any comments? If not, I will make a motion to approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes from September 10th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you.
And we shall vote. Member Hootnick? We're voting now on an item, so you'll want to speak into your,
You can recuse yourself since you weren't here. Okay, there we go.
we'll go ahead and do that. And then Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shaziki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
And Chair Hedges?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to discussion 4A.
For this item, I will be recusing myself, as at the time of this particular project, there was a code case and I was code enforcement supervisor.
Erica?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Welcome. This is item number 4A, which is an accessory building use permit, 2024-12. This is a request to legalize a 3,229 square foot horse barn with a feed area and to legalize a detached 800 square foot storage area, or excuse me, storage garage at 310 Philly Lane, which is located in the A1 zone. This item was originally on the September 10th Planning Commission agenda. It was continued to tonight's meeting with direction that the applicant provide updated project plans to better reflect the current building facades. Specifically, it was the stables, the horse barn. Here is an aerial view of the site. It's a large lot. It has 1.81 acres. It's primarily flat. You can see the structures, they're existing. This is actually a code case, and this is the first process for the applicant to legalize the structure. Needs approval from Planning Commission before it gets to the building division. These are the previous elevations that were submitted that were on the lot. You did have the block, the concrete cement block in the front of the structure where the blue arrows are. Those are no longer there. This is the current view, the current facade of the structure, which has the white stucco. The doors are there. I did go out and view the site. So this is the updated. These are the elevations. They have not changed. It's still a maximum height of 11 feet, 6 inches for the feed area and 9 feet, 4 inches for the barn. This is the storage garage elevations. This did not change. Again, I did go out and look at the site. There is a maximum height of 15 feet, 15 and a half feet, a little over that. The rear elevations, that window will have to be put on. It's not currently there, and the applicant is aware of that. Another view, the south and the north side of the garage. And the horse barn does meet the development standards of the accessory building requirements. Maximum allowed for this structure for the horse barn is based off of the lot size and how many animal units are allowed. There's a multiplication, a formula that you do use. So they are actually allowed 4,725 square feet. They're proposing 3,229 square feet. They meet the height requirement, the setback requirement, as well as lot coverage. For the garage, they also meet the development standards. Maximum allowed size is 1,000 square feet. They are proposing 800 square feet. They meet the height requirement. Again, graduated setbacks, they meet all of those requirements. These are the findings that are required for us to meet in order to recommend approval. Staff has determined that it is consistent with the general plan and the zoning requirements of the A1 zone, and that it is protecting animal keeping areas. It's also, staff has determined in the positive that it's not going to cause an adverse effect on public convenience or any kind of land uses in the surrounding areas. The runoff and drainage impacts, there is a condition that requires the applicant to do a drainage and a grading analysis. It does need to be stamped by an engineer. We also determined that it's categorically exempt. And with that, we do recommend approval for the Accessory Building Use Permit 2024-12, of course, with the attached approval with the conditions on Resolution 2025-20. The applicant is here as well as the designer, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Erica. Shannon, do you have any questions for the staff?
No.
Dennis, any questions of staff?
Has building been involved with this?
Ask the staff.
I believe this was an existing structure that was not permitted.
Correct.
And has a building, our inspector been involved in it? And as far as engineering, to look over the structure to make sure that it's compliant from the word get-go before they put in all the new improvements against the old stuff? Have they been involved in it?
So planning is the first step to going to the building division in order to get a building permit. I've spoken with engineering and spoken to them about the lot to make sure, because there are multiple easements that are on the lot, and I needed to confirm the information that I was gathering to make sure that it was correct. But building and safety does get involved after the applicant can achieve an approval from the Planning Commission. So the applicant is aware that they do have to provide approved plans to the building division, and they have to also provide structural plans to the building division. It's a process. So planning division is the first step.
Yeah, I would hate to see them go through a big ordeal that we're suggesting and come to find out that they don't have the bones to start with, the skeletal structure, and
Correct.
they end up, changing their designs and whatever to find out that the building won't support it.
Yeah.
So-
So we do a in-depth review with code enforcement, with the applicant, and we go through everything with them. We've had multiple meetings with the applicant and a previous engineer that he was working with, as well as the current representative with the applicant, and they're aware everything looks fine. So as long as they can provide the structural, then they go to the building division and go through that process. Planning will do an inspection, a final, because there's a planning case, there's conditions they need to be complied with. But building will do all the, make sure the footings are correct. They'll do everything to make sure it complies.
Okay, it
wouldn't-
sounds like they got all their ducks in a row, so that's,
It's a long process when you have a code case because they're unpermitted structures. And we try our best when we get to the Planning Commission to make sure everything on the lot is permitted. And if it's not, then we do everything we can to put all of it in front of you at the, you know, at the first time. So they don't have to come back and pay thousands of dollars to come back in front of you. But we won't take something in the planning department that does not meet requirements.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with it.
Jeff, questions?
More so, just a couple of comments. Thank you for going out and verifying the existing condition. I didn't want them to have to do extra work that they weren't intending on doing. Quick typo on the determination. In Exhibit D, it's showing the date of the plan to be 9/16, but it's actually 9/17. And this is,
What page? I'm sorry.
oh, I don't have the page, but it's determination item 2A, and it's the one talking about Exhibit D, the site plan. I think it's showing 17, but it's actually the 16th on the plan. I did have a question on this, and I'm not sure who would be best to respond to this. Under our Norco Municipal Code, we have a 25% penalty for constructions without permit. Are you aware of it? It's 3.40.070. And I wanted to find out if that's something that we need to include in the conditions of approval, or if that's applied on the back end when they apply for the permit, or when they actually pull the permit.
That's applied by building and safety, but you can add a condition.
I mean, I don't
It's-
want to do a extra condition
Yeah.
if that's something that's already applied. And that's why I just kind of wanted to verify if that is something that we already automatically do, or if that's something that we need to add. My understanding is that we used to have the language in there, but I don't know if it was removed because it was deemed that it was redundant. So I just don't know why that was done, and if we need to put it in. So I'm not sure who
So
would.
so I'll try. So I'm not building and safety, but I do recall, I did have a conversation with Lacey David, the senior over in the building division, and there was possibly a charge that they do for that, but I'm not building division, so I can't be totally positive that they do that. But that would be something that they would charge, not planning. But you can add a condition.
That's all the questions I have. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I have no questions, thank you. Did anybody want to talk to the applicant? Okay. Did the applicant want to speak? Does the applicant want to come up and address us or not? You don't have to, it's up to you. We're good, thank you. Okay, let's bring it back to us, discussion and/or anybody wants to make a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me.
We don't have any public comment, Mayor,
I'm
or
sorry.
Chair.
Sorry, slipped right by me. Any discussion and/or motion?
I have no problem with it, aside from the correction typo, but I'm kind of unsure about what we're supposed to do with the permit fee. Do you guys feel that it'll be applied at?
I feel like it's not our concern
Okay.
to arrange fees. That's the building department, so.
Okay, I'm good with that.
No, don't, that's okay.
Okay.
Well, barring any other comments, I will make a motion to approve accessory building use permit number 2024-12, subject to the attached conditions of approval on resolution 2025-20 with the typo correction.
Second.
Vote. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
It's your vote. So yes or no on your vote.
I'm good with it, so.
Okay, so that's a yay. And Member Fiore has abstained. Member Shaziki
Yes.
and Member Shu
Yes.
and Chair Hedges.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Get Kathy
Yeah.
back in.
And Kathy can come back in.
On, Kath. We're now moving on to item 4B, and this is yours, Michael?
Good evening, Commission. So this is the request to allow construction of a 1,000 square foot detached RV garage with a 400 square foot workshop at 2890 Shadow Canyon Circle. This item was originally on the Planning Commission agenda of September 10th, 2025, where the item was heard but continued to the meeting of October 8th with direction to change the location of the required open animal keeping area. In the previous plans, it was too close to the structure, the dwelling on the property and in the middle of the plans. So this is the site aerial. This is the new position that they have proposed. We are aware that there is an issue with one of these setbacks on the animal keeping area. It needs to be 5 feet away, but that can be done as a condition to be reviewed by the director. And as you can see, they've repositioned the shop, the smaller of the two blue squares. They've put that to the, on this one, it's to the south, but I'm not sure because I didn't put the arrow. But they've repositioned that so they could bring it further down for the room for the animal keeping area. The elevations, oh, what? Oh my. The elevations were updated to reflect the switch of which side the shop was on. It is still compliant with the maximum height and setbacks of the zone. There is still no dividing wall between the shop and the RV garage. Here we have the size, height, lot coverage, the setbacks, and there is no washroom provided. There are additional development standards, but for readability, we decided to show these. So the findings for this, requested accessory building use permit is consistent with the general plan zoning requirements of the zone, and the property in question is located including the protection of adequate open animal areas on lots where keeping of large animals is permitted. That would be able to be found with the condition. The requested accessory building use permit will not have an adverse effect on public convenience or general welfare of persons residing or working in the neighborhood thereof, and will not adversely affect adjoining land uses, including runoff and drainage impacts and architectural compatibility. The City of Norco, acting as the lead agency, has determined that this project is categorically exempt from CEQA per the Class 32 exemption. Our recommendation is to approve the accessory building use permit 2025-05, subject to the attached conditions of approval on resolution 2025-19 for APN 130-312-007. If you have any questions for me, the applicant, I believe, has a representative here. They were unable to make this meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, sir? Dennis? Questions of Jeff? Okay. Okay. No. I had one question. One of your suggestions here on second page was recommending approval of the projects with the condition that the animal keeping area be moved behind the proposed structure. I didn't quite understand that because it wouldn't fit, so I wasn't sure what you were talking about there. It's on the second page, right under, after it says a 5-foot buffer should be maintained, which we can't. But then it said perhaps moving it behind it, and it didn't look like there was room behind it.
That may be a typo. I
Okay.
believe that was updated.
Okay, I just didn't think there was room. I
No,
just wasn't
it-
sure what you were talking about, so.
So we would need to put it most likely towards the top of the property if you're referencing that map, but the director would be the one to review it.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, no question? Okay. Okay, does anyone want to speak? Does anyone want to hear from the representative? Does the representative want to speak? You don't have to. Okay, you're fine. Any public comments?
No public comment on this item, Chair.
Thank you. I'll bring it back to us. Jeff, do you have some comments to make?
It's actually not specific to this, but I did want to kind of understand the process a little bit. Because this is a continued item, it included the emails that were sent when it appeared before us the first time. And one of the speakers came in and talked about the view obstruction. And from a design perspective, I know that it meets all of our code requirements, and so I'm not objecting to that. But one of the things is that in our findings, our required findings, one of it is the view, and the response said that that it is 18 feet and that it fell in line with the adjoining or the building structure or structures nearby. I don't remember what the exact language was here. Anyway, what I wanted to find out is how you guys word that, because in looking at the structures around, there's nothing that's near that 18 feet. So I would want it to be worded differently and saying that it complies with the Norco codes, rather than saying that it does not impact, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So to my knowledge, these are taken directly from our code as written. If anyone wants to.
Correct, and that's why I'm not saying that, I'm not objecting to the design. I'm saying our language should be more clear, because when you're saying that we've looked at the elevation and that the 18-foot building is in alignment with the surrounding buildings, and there's no 18-foot buildings in the surrounding area, then it provides a confusion at the best case, and worst case, it allows someone else to come back and contest it. So I would clarify our language to say that we've reviewed the view, but the visibility, but it falls within all of our design criterias. But otherwise, I have no.
No, that makes sense. Any other discussion? Yes, Dennis?
I've got a question. When a project like this comes forward and they ask for the input of the 600-foot radius, and something comes through from one of those, how do we go about following up on that as far as to find how viable that complaint is, or is it just a neighbor that likes?
Basically, people just write in and say what they believe, and then you read it and decide whether that's going to make your vote differently. I mean, I don't think that you guys go out there and check it out to make sure what the neighbor says.
Sometimes we do.
Or I guess
But,
it depends
yeah.
on exactly what they're saying.
What they're saying,
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
But everybody, that's what hearings are for. Everybody has the right to express their views, and it's up to all of you to make that decision. I mean, all we can do is make sure it meets the guidelines but we come in front of you to make the decision.
My question is when somebody takes the time to write, to us and say, hey, I've got an issue,
Sure.
do we have the courtesy to follow up on that issue and, okay, do we face to face with them, or do we just kind of, well, we're not sure what they're saying, but let's move on, you know?
We read what they write to us, and if it was a, concern that was, building was in the way or they're blocking some kind of view, that's when we would look, but other than that, we don't
We
do
take
face.
in consideration.
Correct. So whatever anybody writes in, and sometimes it has changed our minds and sometimes it doesn't, because the building belongs there and we can't really change
Right,
that. So,
right.
yeah, basically we read what's there.
I would say that the planning commission is a little different from any of the other commissions in the sense that we are more than an advisory. We are a binding body, and the determinations that we make are not just suggestions, that there's legal consequences to it. And so if we, like the view thing, if we choose that as a reason to deny, then the applicant has a very, very strong case to sue the city because their design falls within all the city's stated guidelines. And so I would say that we have to listen to them, but we don't have to cater
Well,
to it. We
we
have to
can't.
decide if it's within the laws of our city.
There you go. Okay, I just, again, I'm just,
No, it's all right.
Imagine-
That's okay. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
what brings it to point is with land values, part of the land value is the price of the view. And if a person spent, for sake of argument, $1 million on their house, without the view, they could have bought the same house for $700,000. Well,
Well, the joke to that one is always, well, if you wanted the view, you buy the other lot too to maintain that view.
Or the one that's higher, right?
quick little side note, I was an inspector for the city of Corona for a while, and the owner of Miguel Jr., that's what he did. He didn't want to spoil the view of the city lights, so he bought the lots all
There
in
you go.
front of his house.
You have to do if you want to protect
And
it.
it just made sure nobody could build there.
There you go. Okay, let's, if we're done, does anyone want to make a motion?
Ready? All right. I'll make a motion to approve accessory building use permit number 2025-05, subject to the attached conditions of approval with the clarification on the 5-foot setback on the animal keeping area, subject to the community development director's approval. On resolution 2025-19 for accessories parcel number 130-312-007.
I'll second that.
I'll call for votes. And Dennis Hutnick? Yes? Okay. Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shaziki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
Yes.
And Youth Commissioner Langley's.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going on to 4C, and I will be recusing myself since I'm the next door neighbor.
And I too will be recusing myself again because during this open code case, I was code enforcement supervisor.
So who's doing the presentation? Who's doing the presentation?
Me. Okay, before we start this presentation, I did get an email from the applicant that requested that it be postponed to November's meeting because he's in Texas. So that's your decision. I'm ready to present, but it's
Yeah, it's at the pleasure of the commission to decide if you want to continue the item as a courtesy or continue listening.
I know that some of my concerns, I would want to have direct feedback from the client or the applicant, but I'm up to your consideration.
I agree with you. I think it's best to have the applicant here.
I don't have any problem continuing it.
Right, with that, then I guess I will make a motion to continue agenda item 3C to date specific, which is November
12th, I believe.
Yes.
12th, to November 12th, 2025.
I need a second.
Second?
Thanks, Sarah. And I'll call for vote now. Member Hutnick,
Yes.
I'll have you say it on the microphone so we can pick it up, please.
Yes.
Okay. And then Member Fiore, Member Shidziki,
Yes.
and Member Shu.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes to continue. It's date certain. And
So we voted to continue already? Yes. Okay, good. Going to move on to item 4D. And is this yours, Erica? Thank you.
Okay, item 4D is a site plan permit 2023-10. This is a request to construct a 880 square foot large vehicle garage with an attached 360 square foot workshop at a lower elevation at 1041 Canyon View Place. That's located in the specific plan area, Norco Hills. This is a very aerial view of the lot. And here is the site plan. There is a 17-foot access from the gate in the front. There's concrete that leads to dirt that will lead in its flat area to the proposed garage. Pretty simple open floor plan. Here are the elevations. You have a maximum height for the RV garage at a little over 17 and a half at the peak. For the lower elevation, you have a 10-foot peak height. This is the back elevations. Different side views of the elevations. And the large vehicle does meet the standards of the accessory building as far as height, the size of the structure, as well as the setbacks. And this is in a specific plan area, which does not have the 40-foot or 40% lot coverage. It's a 30%, it's a little bit lower. And it's 30% for accessory structures. Does not include the single-family dwelling. Again, these are the findings that we need to meet, and we do believe that it's consistent with the general plan and the zoning requirements of the specific plan. We do not believe that it will cause an adverse effect to the adjoining land uses. Again, there is always a condition that has the drainage and the grading analysis that would be required, again, stamped by an engineer and categorically exempt. Staff does recommend approval of Site Plan 2023-10, subject to the attached conditions of approval on Resolution 2025-23.
Thank you, Erica.
And the applicant is here, very eager to finish this.
Shannon, any questions of staff?
No.
Kathy, questions of staff?
No.
Jeff, questions of staff? Or do you want me? Oh, okay. Dennis, questions of staff?
Yeah, judging from the plan, this is just a full-blown galvanized,
Ask her.
this is just a full-blown galvanized building, sheet metal building? In other words, there's no aesthetics whatsoever to match anything in the area? It's just a galvanized barn, basically?
So they will be painting it to match the existing
Okay.
house. Yeah. Same
Because the
colors,
plan doesn't
trim.
reflect anything like that. It just shows galvanized
It does.
exterior
Correct.
and,
It does says a primary color of light stone to match.
okay. Thank you.
Sarah?
I'm looking at the aerial view right now, and I might be looking at it wrong, but it looks like there's already a building where they're planning the garage.
It will be removed.
It will be removed? Okay.
Two questions. Do we confirm on the size of the chicken coop that it's under 120 square feet?
I'll have to, I believe it is, but we can confirm with the applicant.
The other one, can you speak to the animal keeping area and the anticipated use on this? Because I'm seeing with the Norco Hills and the grades that they're dealing with, I'm just concerned about where we're building and if it's viable to keep an animal keeping area after all the construction's completed.
Well, they do have to, they're required to have an animal keeping area. It's very different from the A1 zone. They're allowed 3 animal units, but it's the first animal unit's 220. Each additional is 100 square feet. So that area,
Bunnies.
right,
So is it the little square that is indicated on the
much, yeah.
site plan?
yeah.
So my question for that is, and the reason why I'm asking about this is, does that still leave us sufficient room for 800 square foot ADU? If we allow this, because we got into the issue of the flat access to the animal keeping area and driving through the animal keeping area in order to access garages specifically. So I'm not saying a no to it. I just asking if that has been considered in the suggested motion, the
So they have a
recommendation.
very large lot. It's hilly, slopey. If they can move that over more towards where the solar, area is, we can move it. And in that area, there would be,
When you're saying
there appears to be
moving
enough.
the animal keeping area?
Right. More,
Remember, we have access requirement for the animal keeping area, though. So if it's at a lower level, it may not conform.
so, there is enough area on this lot to have, they would have to do grading, but there is enough area on this lot if they wanted to have an ADU. There is. They would just have to invest in, flattening that and going through the grading process, which we do have a lot of people that are in this specific plan that have gone through getting ADUs and have had to go through grading in order to make a flat area.
My question is, I thought we didn't allow metal buildings. I thought that was one of the things we changed, and metal buildings, metal barns were not allowed any longer.
As long as they can make it look
You mean
like,
painting it to make it look something other
And the only way
than?
to do that is to paint it. Yeah.
That was my question. Go ahead.
I did have a question. So I did raise this during the architectural review, highlighting that exposed fasteners weren't allowed. I did not notice if it was specifically called out. Do you know if that was addressed?
Correct. So I did speak with the applicant, and we can add something on the, as far as a condition to make sure, but they're aware.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. We did this. Okay, does the applicant want to come up? Does the applicant want to come up and speak? You don't have to if you don't want to. No, unless you have specific questions for me. Okay, well, don't talk from there. Either come up here or just say no. We're good. Okay, thanks. Any public comments?
No public comments, Chair, on this item.
Okay, thank you. All right, bring it back to us. Discussion about what we've talked about or questions? Any, Shannon? Kathy? Jeff?
My only concern is the exposed fastener, so as long as we condition that, I'm good.
Is that in one of the conditions?
No.
All right, so we'll have to add it, correct? Okay. All right, then, anyone want to make a motion?
Okay, I will make a motion to approve site plan 2023-10, subject to the attached condition of approval on resolution 2025-23, with the additional condition clarifying that exposed fasteners are not permitted on the structure.
Second.
I'll call for a vote. Member Hutnick? Okay. Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shizuki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
Yes.
Youth Commissioner Langley's?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, we would like to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back. So be back by 5 to 8, please. On to 5A, and this is yours, Erica. Sorry, Erica, you're in. You're it.
Okay, this is item 5A, which is it's actually a vesting tentative parcel map 39067. This is a request to allow the subdivision of an existing 2.223 acre lot into two lots located at the southwest corner of River Road and Corridon Street. The lot is a commercial general zone. This item was continued from the Planning Commission meeting, September the 10th to October 8th, tonight's meeting. That was done in order to allow the following conditional use permit to also go concurrent with this. Here is an aerial view of the lot. It's interior lot within the shopping center. This is the requested parcel map. Here's a zoomed view of it. The first parcel they want to subdivide into a 1.15 acre lot. Parcel 2 will be a little less than 40,000 square feet at 0.907 acres. There isn't an error on the right side of the dimensions for that lot. It's actually 229.62 instead of 292.35. So they'll have to correct that before, if you approve it to move to City Council, they'll have to correct that. This is the surrounding uses. On the north or northwest side is single family in the city of Norco, A120 zone. On the south or southeast side and the east side is the shopping center. And the southwest side, you also have single family residence. It's located in the city of Corona. The requested subdivision does meet the development standards for the minimum lot size, the minimum lot depth, and the minimum lot width. Does meet all of those standards. With the approval or the recommended staff approval to Planning Commission, we do need to meet these findings, and we do believe it's in the positive. With that, we do recommend that Planning Commission adopt Resolution 2025-22, recommending that this goes to the City Council, approving vesting tentative parcel map number 39067, subject to the findings and the conditions underlined in the resolution.
Thank you, Erica.
You're welcome.
Questions of staff, Sarah? Dennis? Kathy?
No, no questions.
No.
Okay, we have two kind of concurrent items. I guess my question is, if we have questions about the site design and development, are we saving it for the agenda item 5B, or are we asking on this one?
5B.
In terms of just site fencing, site planting, everything will be on 5B?
5B on the development.
Okay. Parking. I'm wondering if it's, because 5B is talking specifically about the daycare, whereas this one is talking about subdividing it into two, correct?
Correct.
So with the Plan Western parcel, that is being designed and developed out for the daycare.
Correct.
The other parcel, I'm seeing kind of a tentative footprint. I don't know what that is, but whatever footprint that is does not leave very much parking. And so I'm going back to the conditional use that was approved with the original 2015, and it's calling out for 617 standard parking. So my concern is that we're not showing anywhere near the same amount of parking from that previous approved site plan. And my concern is that by doing this, are we locking them out of that design possibility? Because right now, it's looking like a lot of, if we stick to the 617 parking spot and parcel 1 goes forward with the design, it's looking like parcel 2 would have to be substantially just parking. So I want to kind of get clarification on that. That seems like it would be relevant to this.
Okay. So, you know, whatever the development is for parcel 2, they'd have to come back with a new design. Whatever they're asking for, they're going to have to either do a modification of the site plan, or they're going to have to do a conditional use depending on what they're asking for.
I just,
So-
I want to state it now so that we don't come to
Parking.
we don't come to a situation where the applicant comes back that has bought parcel 2 and suddenly realize, oh, I can only build a 2,000 square foot thing because 90% of this has to be parking, and now they want to have a shared parking agreement. I want to state it here now that parking is a concern, and that if we approve it, this is the condition that they are accepting, that we are not deviating from the parking. Because that is what was
Correct,
the
yeah.
original condition.
Yeah. So the applicant is here. He can speak on that. My issue is the subdivision of splitting that large lot into 2
Understand,
separate
and,
lots.
and that's
yeah.
why I asked you
And that
if
is
we
a
ask on this
concern.
one or the
Right.
other one. But
Right.
my
It is a
question is
concern.
because agenda item 5B is about parcel 1 only. So I don't want parcel 2 to be lost in that and
Correct,
coming back to us as a problem that now we have to solve.
correct.
Okay, thank you. Applicant, would you like to speak?
Good evening. My name is Timothy Reeves. I work for the Lowe's Group of Companies. And to answer your question, the 617 is for the entire center, not for this parcel. And there already is an REA on the site for reciprocal parking. So if we were to develop parcel 2, which we are maintaining the ownership of, we just have to meet the overall parking requirements for the center. The 617 is not for this particular parcel. So even with what the proposed 5B is, we're still overparked by that's pretty good. So it will restrict what we do on that parcel depending on the use. We understand that. So, but we should be able to hit the 617, no issue. So,
Any questions for the applicant?
thank you.
No.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
We have no public comment for 5A.
Okay, thank you. All right. Bring it back to us. Any discussion?
Bouncing off of Commissioner Shu's statement about a parking agreement. My understanding, and maybe I'm incorrect, is that all business center parking is reciprocal. There are no individual exclusive parking agreements in place. Is that correct? Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion, or does anyone want to make a motion?
Let me flip back to. I will make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-22 to recommend to the City Council approval of the vesting tentative parcel map number 39067, subject to the findings and conditions outlined in the resolution, with the understanding that the original agreed condition of approval stipulated 617 parking spots shall be held or kept within this updated parcel map.
I'll second that.
Okay. I'll call for vote. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shizuki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
Yes.
Youth Commissioner Langley's.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to item 5B, and this is yours, Michael.
Yes, it is. So we not only have the applicant, we also have the architect available on Teams after my presentation if there's any specific questions regarding that. Good evening. This project was originally going to be presented by the director, but she was unable to, so I'm presenting in her stead. This is a request to allow the construction of a 10,550 square foot childcare building with outdoor play area at 2490 River Road, located within the commercial general zone, APN 121-560-002. This item was on the Planning Commission agenda of September 10th, 2025, where the item was not heard, but continued to the meeting of October 8th, 2025. This is the parcel that was in the previous item. This is the aerial view of it. This is the proposed floor plan and site plan. The green areas denote the play areas for the children, and the blue area in the middle there is the structure itself. These are the presented elevations. This is a close-up of the actual floor plan. This is the proposed landscaping. As you can see, they are providing a buffer between the play areas as well as between the play areas and the houses on the sites there. This does meet the minimum required landscaping. Here are some of the development standards for the zone. 30 feet is the maximum height that they are proposing. The landscaping, 16% non-turf landscaping has been provided, so the play areas are not included in that total. The parking is adequate for our code, which is 1 space for every 4 children and 1 space for every employee on the largest shift. There is a note here. There is a requirement for a loading area. The director felt that the intent of that was meant, but there is a requirement for 2 loading area spaces. Also, the applicant will speak to that as well. These are the findings that are required to be made for approval of the project. Staff has prepared Resolution 2025-24 with appropriate conditions should the Planning Commission elect to approve Conditional Use Permit 2025-04. Any questions?
Thank you, Michael. Sarah, any questions of staff? Dennis? I'm not going to ask you. Kathy?
Of staff, right?
Yes, of staff,
Okay.
just of staff.
Okay, so I'm looking on the resolution, just to get myself, make sure I'm not being fussy, but I do have what I need to understood. So now we're going to consider this based upon the fact that a subdivision has happened. And so now we have 2 separate addresses, we have 2 separate APNs. Yet the APN for the overall combined parcel is the only APN used, and I realize you can't apply it at this moment, but it refers to, in the resolution, 2490 River Road, with that APN ending in 002. And then in the next paragraph refers to it as 2470 River Road, and again, just the same 002 parcel. Wouldn't we want to distinguish in here that we are now at the point of two parcels or operating on parcel B, or however you'd want to identify it, of the original parcel 002. And are those addresses just a typo? Has there been, for your own documentation, a phony address given to be able to distinguish between the two resolutions?
I believe that address is a typo, and we can add a condition to modify the APNs and addresses to match the new parcel.
Because I realize in the resolution you're not going to already have that, but I think it should be very clear years down the line, looking at the two resolutions and figuring it out. Okay, that was one question.
No questions.
Yeah, I had another one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do I get two?
You get two today.
Okay, good. And then back to, back to Commissioner Shu's conversation about parking. The overall numbers for the business center are what we were looking at for the condition, correct? So the development of the other parcel would obviously become secondary to whatever occurs in the first one. I think that was your concern, right? That there's not going to be significant limiting on the next venture. But even within this report, some of the exhibits show retail in one place and office in the other. And I know that's probably not a big deal right now because down the road, we really don't know what Lewis has planned for that second one. I don't know whether that's something you want to make consistent, or does it really matter? Maybe make it either or, so that the use is really going to drive the parking, and it will be a formula based upon the overall parking for that one development section for reciprocal, correct?
You're correct. It should be consistent.
Okay.
So one or the other, we want
Right.
to choose.
That's all.
Don't have any other questions. Did you still? Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes, I've
Go
got
for
a
it.
bunch of questions.
Oh, of course, of course.
Are you guys ready?
Michael isn't.
Okay, so I've got several site questions on it and I guess comments. So when we're looking at the site behind the grocery store, one of the things that we notice is that in the original condition of approval, it required a 6-foot perimeter fencing. But what happened was that the pad was elevated and the perimeter was depressed. And so that 6-foot perimeter fencing ended up being, by practical purposes, only about 3 feet tall. And from what I can tell, an additional fencing with screen, like a pipe fencing with screen, was applied behind the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So my concern is that this condition carries through and around the entire site. So right now, we are not showing any additional fencing. But I would want to see that continue through because that's it. My understanding was that that was an issue when the
It was.
original center was.
It was, the neighbors totally complained about that.
The other one is on one of the condition number 16, where it's indicating 24-inch planter box or 15-gallon, depending on which has better survival. I'm pretty sure we revised that to just 24 on site and 36 on street frontage. So I want to make sure that we clarify and strike out that 15-gallon. The other one is in the parking, the landscape parking area. So based upon our Norco Municipal Code 18.29.80, it requires 1 tree for every 5 stalls in the parking field. And it can be clustered or individual. So if we go back to the site plan and you look at the, and I know that it has allowances for the trees around the perimeter, but if you look at the parking field that is in the middle there, there are 28 parking spots, which require 6 trees. So right now, we're too short. I don't know how we intend to address that, but we need 2 more trees in that parking field. And I guess if we go to the grading plan, section A on the page 2 of the grading plan, it kind of shows my concern with the perimeter fencing and the dip on the existing wall. So I want to make sure that we pick up the current, I guess, Band-Aid fix of the fencing.
Continued on.
Yep. And then I just want to clarify that we want to make sure that we're picking up the parking for the shopping center, because it does look like the footprint shown here between the 2 lots has increased from the original condition. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Jeff. I have no questions. Would the applicant like to come and speak?
Good evening, Chair Hedges, Commissioners. My name is Mike Johnston. I'm with the Creed Group, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant, JNP Realty. I'd like to just take a few minutes to introduce you to the Goddard School. I think this background will be helpful to you as you consider the application before you tonight. So just, again, brief background. Goddard Systems, the franchisor of the Goddard School, has been in operation since 1988. And now has over 490 locations across 36 states. Here in California, there are currently 13 open centers with several more in development. And the Goddard School's core curriculum focuses on early childhood development, serving children from 6 weeks to 6 years old, and includes a wide range of enrichment programs such as chess, coding, fitness, foreign languages, music, robotics, sign language, yoga, and more. And this franchise is consistently recognized by Entrepreneur Magazine and others as one of the top childcare franchises in the United States. A distinguishing feature of the Goddard School is its rigorous quality assurance program, which measures each school against internal standards that often exceed state requirements. And this commitment to quality, along with the emphasis on daily enrichment, helps foster children's self-esteem and lays the foundation for a well-rounded and healthy lifestyle. So for these reasons and many more, we believe this school will be a true asset to the Norco community, and we're excited about the opportunity to partner with the city and provide families in Norco with an exceptional early education experience. So thank you for your time and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Jeff, do you want any specific questions?
Sure. So I know that you had a narrative, or somewhat included the narrative for the drop-off process as a reason for not requiring the drop-off. I do schools professionally, so I definitely understand that. I guess my question is, in terms of the drop-off, it makes total sense, but what about pickup? Does the parent still need to go in to check them out? Because my concern is dropping them off may not be a problem, but if they're all let out at the same time and you have a row of parents who are just parked there because they don't want to hop out to get their kids, I guess, would you, and I don't know what the operations would be, I guess for my question to you is, would you guys be against a condition which does not allow curbside pickup?
I don't believe we would be opposed to a condition that doesn't allow for curbside pickup. The pickup is the same as the drop-off, so kids are typically being picked up, our part-timers midday, and then those who stay into the evening would be anywhere from 4 to 6 p.m. It's a staggered pickup. And same with the sign-in process when they get dropped off. The parents have to park, come into the facility, sign their kids out and then escort them back out to their car. So for all intents and purposes, there's not really a drop-off per se. So I don't know if we would have a concern with that condition.
Yeah, like I said, operationally, it makes sense what you guys have laid out. I think just for us, or for me specifically, I want to make sure that we are specific on our side of it, so that if it does end up that we have a situation where parents are lined up because they're expecting a drop off, then we have some sort of recourse on it.
Dennis, any questions of the applicant?
The only, I've got a personal note in this, that is there security offered to protect the kids? In today's world, there's a lot of weird stuff goes on, especially in daycare and whatever. Is a staff trained for that, for situations involving child abduction or whatever? We talked about the perimeter fencing being inadequate. Around this facility, I'm sure that the fencing is going to be more than substantial to stop somebody from hoisting a kid over the fence. But what does the facility do to protect the kids?
Yeah, great question. I won't be able to get into every last nuance of the security, but what I do know I can speak to. And I do know that the Goddard franchise is very strict on security, and they have very high standards for all of the facilities. So it's not just us developing a site plan in a vacuum. There is someone from the Goddard national franchise who is very intimately involved in the design, and they are the ones that provide parameters as it relates to fencing and design and security and locks and all of the above. I do know staff are trained to be able to respond, much like teachers at a public school are trained to be able to respond to potential threats. There is not on-site 24/7 security, but the locking mechanisms on the doors, the fencing, the intimate check-in process when you come in, you're not allowed to access other parts of the building if you're not supposed to be there. It's all closed off, so you can't really make your way back to any classrooms if you come in through the main entrance. There's multiple series of doors, and then outdoors when the kids are out in the play yard, they're only out there for limited periods of time, and they're under close supervision from all of the teachers and staff. So with all of those, that's not every security measure that's taken, but those are the ones I know of, and I know that they go to great lengths to make sure that the kids are safe.
Okay, yeah, I was just concerned when we started talking about the fencing in the general area, like the fencing around the play area for the kids, you know, where something can't be put up next to the fence for somebody to get up. It has a perimeter area where there's nothing allowed near the fencing, so the kids can't get over or somebody else can't get over the opposite way. You know, I'm just a big advocate of protecting kids, so that's all. I'm just asking this for my own personal thing. How do you handle it? You know, is your staff well-trained to do that? And that's my big voice in all this.
Thank you. Sarah? No? No? Okay, no, I don't have any questions.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
and
very
Thank you
much.
to staff for all your hard work on this. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Do we have public comments?
Yes, we do. Timothy Reeves, I believe. Yes.
Good evening, Timothy Reeves with the Lewis Group, which is here representing the shopping center owner, and if the commission had any questions of us. Yes, we remember behind the Stater Brothers condition, there is a fence within a fence. If you recall, the back wall is owned by the Corona residents by themselves. The actual wall to the left is taller than 6 feet because that's on the Norco side. So if we can answer any questions for you, we're here for that. Otherwise, we're in support of the project and the applicant.
Will you continue that wall? Will that wall be continued down there?
It's actually, Most likely, yes, we'll take a look at the height. It's actually not as pronounced in this area.
As
It
it
was
was there.
significantly pronounced,
Right.
unfortunately, behind the Stater Brothers.
Yes, Michael?
So we recently inspected this site, I believe last week or this week. The fence does appear to be about 8 feet tall along the
The Norco side,
northeast, along the northeast side that borders Norco properties. I did not get a measurement of the corona wall, however.
Have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No further comment, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We'll bring it back to us for discussion. Huh? Questions, discussion? I do like some of your ideas that we need to make sure that are in the resolution, Jeff.
Yeah.
So, we don't have problems later on down the line.
Michael, just to your comment, I do agree that to the long axis side, once it get past the stairs, the fencing's probably okay. But if you look at the site grading plan along the short axis next to El Pollo Loco area, it does have that dip again where the parking elevation is going to shoot their light right over it. So I would prefer, and I'm just saying,
No, I'd like to
my
condition it,
position
right.
here is that I would like to see that fencing continue across rather than have this break and then condition it to have it for the other side.
I agree.
But
Yes, Michael?
So just to be clear, by continue across, you mean maintain the same level despite grade changes?
relative height to the CMU wall. So if it's 3 feet above the CMU wall in the back, that it would continue across.
Correct. I like that too. Any discussion? No, Dennis?
Did anybody have any questions or concerns about the landscape, the planter box?
No, I think what you've suggested is what we need. Okay. We do have a list of plants, so that,
With respect to landscape, and this may not be an issue anymore, but early on in the initial buildings, Stater Brothers and others, when they did the planting of the trees along the Corona Ellington side, there were a number of communications from those Corona residents with respect to the trees overhanging their property because of the type of trees that they were. And I believe they were semi-deciduous, but they did call for more frequent pruning of those trees because they didn't want them hanging over toward their pools. Many of them had that concern. So I don't know if that's any consideration that's been given as to the type of tree that may not be a neighbor problem at the rear. They have very small backyards and they seem to have a lot of pools in them. So
I figured that probably falls under the center management, and they have their lessons learned, and they probably know
May
what
well.
not to plant so that they don't have to do that as
I would hope
often.
so, yes.
just trying to keep those calls from coming to code enforcement.
You ready?
Sure.
All right. Okay. I will make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-24, approving conditional use permit 2025-04 with the additional condition that condition number 16 be revised to strike the 15-gallon option from the planter option, and that the parking field area be revised to include 2 additional trees per our landscape requirements in the Norco Municipal Code. Oh, and to continue the pipe and screen fencing across the entirety of the long and short axis of the the new developed area maintaining a consistent elevation above the existing CMU wall.
Second.
Votes. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Okay. Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shiziki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
Yes.
Youth Commissioner Langley's?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we get a second on that one?
Yes, we got
Oh,
a second.
sorry. I was not paying.
All right, we'll move on to item 5C, which is going to be continued. Do you need a vote on that? Okay,
I'll make a motion to continue agenda item 5C to date-specific meeting of November, well, I thought it was 12th, 2025.
Second.
Vote. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Okay. Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shiziki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
yes.
And Youth Commissioner Langley's.
Yes.
Motion passes to continue. Thank you.
Oh, yes, sorry.
One quick question, comment. I realize when we have this date-specific on it, I don't know if 4C, the one that you two weren't here, I wrote down that we continued it to 11/18. I don't know if that's what was written or if that's just what I wrote down incorrectly.
Let me see.
And if I did say 18, I'd like to revise that to 12.
I
we'll
put
be-
November 12th, 2025.
Okay,
So I heard 12 when we
Okay,
were over
then
here.
it's my note. I just wanted to confirm. Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to 5D, and this was going to be Alma who's taking it. Oh, good, Erica, you go.
Okay, item 5D is a zone code amendment 2025-01. This is a city-initiated amendment, zone code amendment for a follow-up action from our 2024 annual review of the Accessory Building Use Permit ordinance in regards to the non-living, the garages, the barns, the workshops, animal keeping structures. The ordinance is found in Chapter 18.68 of the Norco Municipal Code. The amendment request is to the provisions for the large vehicle parking building structures to only allow a 1,000 square foot structure, eliminating the additional 400 square feet, and to maximum dimensions be established on one side of the 1,000 square foot structure to be wide enough to fit a RV garage or a large vehicle garage or the recreational type vehicles, and not to allow it to be a livable unit. Also to amend the conditions necessary to grant an accessory building use permit by adding a finding, granting the proposed garage, barn, workshops, non-habitable buildings regulated under Chapter 18.68 that does not prohibit a future ADU that preserves the animal keeping area and its access. Also to amend Chapter 18.68 to codify staff's policy of only allowing one building in each of the allowed categories. There's 3 categories that we allow for accessory structures. For the large vehicle buildings, animal keeping shelters, and all other type of accessory buildings. For the charter amendment to protect and preserve the animal keeping lifestyle in residential areas. Any zone change from or to the following zones as defined in in Title 18 zoning of the Norco Municipal Code requires a supermajority 4/5 vote.
Thank you, Erica. You have any questions of staff? Dennis? Jeff?
How are applications that are in progress handled? And is there, would there be like a grace period, et cetera, for that?
Well, we have pretty much stopped taking in accessory structures for 1,400 square feet. It depends on the old cases, if they're deemed complete.
Questions of staff, Kath?
What was the impetus for this?
This was presented by the director for, every year we do a review and we give a status to the Planning Commission on the accessory structures ordinance to give any kind of feedback we do get from residents or any concerns that we have, we'll bring forth for the Planning Commission to make some changes. And this was one of the items was to reduce the size of the large vehicle and to allow for only one
Of
RV
each
garage of each individual
type.
type,
And that would be regardless of the size of the property.
correct?
So it is more restrictive.
Correct.
Okay. And so I guess I'm just trying to understand the bigger picture, because I know there's probably interest on both sides based on the size of property you have and what your activities are. The first page of the staff report at the bottom, I know you stated it, but I'm not clear on it. Where the phrase, "and that a maximum dimension be established on one side of the 1,000 square foot structure to be long enough," it says wide enough, but if it's the maximum dimension, can you explain that to me? Because I'm visualizing length and I'm reading width, and
Erica, do you want me to take that?
sure.
Thank you, Jeff.
So this came about as a discussion as part of a trend that we were seeing where every single accessory building where we had 1,000 square foot was coming in as 1,400. No one was coming in with 1,000 because it had gotten around that, hey, you got this bonus square feet that you can put in. And so one of the things that was concerning me was a lot of these that we were seeing look like they were being designed to be ready to be ADUs. And so with the way that the state law is, you can construct an ADU, a detached ADU, and then you can convert this to an ADU. And then you can still have a junior ADU, allowing you 3 really big ADUs on site. And so this was an effort, the proposed change was an effort to make it so that it's actually dimensioned to be used for an RV. So that, I think the proposed one is 16 feet. So it would be 16 feet by, I think, 40, something like that. But it would be a long building so that basically it's, the intention is to make it so that it's sized to accommodate RV and not sized to accommodate a kitchen remodel.
It doesn't really change what the original dimension was for a 1,000 square foot RV structure, because typically they're very typical in their width and their length, unless you have a 48-foot RV. But, okay, so I see the value in the workshop aspect having been attached, because that then doesn't require another application for another standalone building, a detached building, which would take up more space because there's then another 10-foot or greater setback between those two structures. So and maybe I'm being too simplistic about this, but if the 400 is still attached to that 1,000-foot structure, you're using up less lot coverage. And to me, I mean, if you have a half-acre parcel, it's already going to be tricky to get 3 of these, or 1 of each of these in there, but a larger parcel, it's a little different. I just think that this can bring up more lot coverage structure, more structures on that, working your way up to the 40% lot coverage. But again, I may be too simplistic, but I'm just trying to understand how this is helpful to those who need one of each of those and are using them for their purpose. I realize everybody's got or not everyone, let me take that back. Certain folks will decide that, you know, over time, they're going to change the use of a structure that was permitted for another use. That's just human nature. But, okay, just trying to get the bigger picture.
Shannon, any questions and stuff? I don't have any questions, we'll bring it back. Okay,
We have public comment from Bill Naylor.
okay, Bill.
Evening, Commissioners. You didn't get away without me at least coming up once tonight. 2 items that kind of I thought about on this that you need to think about. One is you were saying the structure for the RV could be 1,000, will be 1,000 square feet. What about those that come in, as I've seen tonight, 875? I think it should be a maximum of 1,000 feet. It could be smaller. The other item is in the staff report, they talk about limiting 1 RV storage area, maybe 1 workshop, and maybe 1 barn. That's the way it's read in the staff report. But when you go down to the code, the way they wrote it, they only refer to 1 structure of the RV. And I'm really agree with that part of it. I do not agree with the general staff report, because I think some of us that have larger properties, we have horses, we want more barns, maybe. I just think we really need to be aware of our horse-keeping people that need the more barn areas. Otherwise, those are the 2 areas that I had concerns about.
No. Is that it?
No further comment, Mayor.
Okay.
Chair, excuse me, just promoted you.
Oh, good. What was I, Mayor? Yeah, right on. All right, bring it back for discussion. I just wanted to say that this still allows, obviously, each building to be built. And I also think, to Bill's concern, is that when we get bigger lots, we can always do a CUP to get bigger buildings on there. I mean, that's what we did with the barn. We had a 5-acre property, and I think the barn was 4,000 square foot that we allowed a few years ago because dimension-wise, it fit on the property.
Yeah, that would have been on a variance.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
and I believe that's in the code. It says.
Yes, so I mean, it doesn't make, it still can be done. It's not prohibited, but it does need to come in before us. It's not an
Right,
automatic
by a
one.
variance, yeah.
Yes, okay, variance. So I'm not too concerned about that, because I think if properties are bigger, they can still be used for what they're, but I do like this idea where we're not getting an extra building.
I just have a question about
Go
that.
ahead.
So I get the larger building, but if they wanted 2 separate buildings, could they still do a variance for that? And it would just have to come before us, or is it like strictly 1 building?
So what this is amending is that RV garage at 1,000 square feet even if you have a 5-acre lot, just 1.
I get that. It's
And then 1 other type of accessory structure, like a 2-car garage or
Workshop.
a workshop, you know, as long as it's below the maximum square footage, and 1 animal keeping structure.
so if like a property wanted 2 separate barns, they would have to only have 1?
Only 1.
Okay, I just like, on larger properties, especially like,
But again, would be a variance.
so it could be a variance?
They could come in.
So animal keeping structures are based off of the lot area. So if you have a large lot, then you can typically have a very large
Barn.
animal keeping structure, but it would be one. If you need to go beyond the square footage that's allowed, then you would have to submit a variance. And that is in the code. It
But that would
says
still have to be
for
one building?
the
Still-
size.
Avenue
Still
for
good,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a second. I just, okay. Sorry, I was gathering my thought. Kathy, to your comments, I wanted to wait till discussion to talk about this. I think everything that you said, I agree with, but I think when we talk about the practicality of it was when we open it up to 1,400, basically what we saw was that everybody treated it as if the code just said 1,400. We didn't have anybody come in and say, I just want 1,000 square foot. Every single application was 1,400. And so my feeling is if somebody truly is wanting a workshop, they can apply for a workshop. Or they can do something else and say, hey, I really want this workshop in here. There's avenues for that, but I'd rather our default being 1,000 because what we were seeing is every single application was 1,400 square feet.
Right, and I can see why, because I know in many cases that I'm personally aware of, that 400 was an easy storage area where you don't, you're already using your garage, it's full, and that was an easy way to get storage that you don't otherwise have, or it would cost more for another application for a detached, accessory building. So it made sense if, in fact, of course, it's used in that fashion.
So the extension to that is if somebody is just using that 400 square foot as kind of storage space, we have in the code that they can have unlimited number of storage sheds under 120 square feet.
Yeah, that looks great.
Stack up 4 of them.
Yeah.
So it's really
Nice
it's
feature.
really intended to be for someone who actually wants it to be
Right.
a workshop.
I understand.
So I'd rather have our code reflect that use.
Okay. I think, I'm okay with the RV and the workshop. I'm still really not okay with the animal keeping aspect. I think that animal keeping structures should be excluded from this particular language and be dealt with based upon size of property. When you think of animal keeping structures, you can have a horse, one for horses, one for goats, one for chickens if you want 1,000 of them. But having only a single, because I have 3 different kinds of animals, but many people have more than that. I just wouldn't include animal keeping in there. I think it has to be treated differently because, after all, we are animal keeping in who we are.
I agree with Commissioner Fiore that animal keeping should get left out of this because I definitely understand for the workshops and the RV garage limiting it to 1, but I feel animal keeping, sometimes you do need to have multiple buildings.
But it is already just 1, correct?
Planning has a practice,
Right.
not,
Not codified.
Right. But, we've allowed
but
other
it's not
things.
codified, right?
And I know that we technically have a way through that with the variance, but the variance is an additional cost. So I do agree with leaving the animal keeping aspect out of it. We're okay with the RV and the workshop.
Okay, Jeff. Oh, man. You can do this. Come on.
Okay, so this is just a recommendation anyway. I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26 to recommend approval of Zone Code Amendment 2025-01 to the City Council with the stipulated exception to exclude the animal keeping area from the the provision for one per structure. Is that close enough?
Second.
I'll call for votes. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Okay. Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shiziki?
Yes.
Member Shu?
Yes.
Chair Hedges?
Yes.
And Youth Commissioner Langley's.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to commission staffs and communication. Does anyone have anything they want to agendize? Any comments? The only thing I'd like to say is that I want to represent the combat cancer. This is going to be our 10th year. And little side thing for Kathy Azevedo, so I would love everybody to come. It's October 18th, and it's going to be at Dos Lagos. It's for the Support Sisters, which bring a lot of help to the community, our community, as well as the surrounding community. So I just want to invite everybody to come. So if we're done, we're adjourned. Thank you.